Welcome to the first episode of the latest podcast in the. I guess we haven't really said it in a video or a podcast before. We call it the Channel 2 Media Group or whatever. It's the Loading Up Podcast, Excuse Me Brother podcast. But now we have a new podcast, the Go Home Bros podcast, which is me, producer Jay, and my brother. You can introduce yourself.
Listen, my name is Cam. Y'all can call me Cam, but I'm going to go by, everybody has their own thing. So his name is producer Jay. You guys can call me the X Factor.
Why you trying to be cool?
Hey, everybody got their thing. I don't want to steal. You guys got your title, J, title person. I'm just the X Factor.
You're the X Factor.
You can't beat it. I buzz you in, not like the voice of the X Factor show, but my own X Factor.
Okay. Well, this has been we've talked back and forth about wanting to do this. Like, it was mostly just a scheduling thing because we had to figure out how we were gonna do it, and Lord knows there's so many freaking wrestling podcasts out there that we were just like, should we even do it? Like, is it worth it? But we wanted to have like an outlet to talk about wrestling, and because right now it's as hot as it's ever been. And I think our format is going to be unique in that so most podcasts will do like weekly shows and stuff like that. They'll talk about all the wrestling every week, and like that was where we were just like, oh, it's like tiring. We don't want to do all that. But when we talked about it, and we were just like, you know what? Most of the time when we talk like on ourselves, it's like after like a pay-per-view or right before a pay-per-view and stuff like that, or something big happens on like Raw or something like that we'll talk about it. So then that came up about where we were just like, why don't we just do a show just like every month for the pay-per-views?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, and we were just like, because literally that's what we do now. So
people come and watch the shows every single month, and that's all people really talk about. Like Raw and SmackDown, maybe in the future we'll get to that, but right now, the biggest thing of WWE is the pay-per-views, the giant, glorious, promoted shows like the one we're about to cover.
yeah.
So this one has been like in our face for like the past few months. Like,
Yeah.
if you are a wrestling fan and you know about wrestling and you have not heard that Raw is coming on Netflix, like,
yeah.
I don't know where you've been.
Yeah, I don't know how. Even when during the freaking not Logan Paul, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight, they were talking about WWE and Raw coming to Netflix. Like, it was all over the place. So if you don't know, then you're not paying attention at least.
If you don't know, now you know.
Yeah. But so yeah. So for the most part, we're gonna talk about pay-per-views. Obviously, Raw on Netflix is not a pay-per-view technically, but it is a big show that they're advertising, and we wanted to talk about it. We were talking about maybe doing like the Royal Rumble at first, but I think this is a show worthy of doing a starting off this podcast about. So yeah, so I don't know about you, but I am extremely hyped for this show. Like, I'm literally like, I want it to be now. Like, I want to watch it now because
I feel you. I want, oh my goodness. Like, every day that passes by, I listen to a specific podcast myself, and it's like every time, like, I work at 8:00, just getting out, I'm like, oh man, let me see. Oh, I forgot it's not Monday.
yeah,
Dang, man. Like, I really want to listen to at least a live stream. I'm definitely gonna watch the show. I'm off that day. I don't know about you.
I work, but I'm gonna try and make it home on time. I'm gonna see whatever I can do to make it home on time so I can watch it live.
You got to Uber it home, unfortunately, man. I don't know. Gonna have to, cause Raw is literally like a very dynamic shift in eras. Like,
Oh yeah,
okay, we had the Triple H era. Cool. That was great. I would say like 2 years of the Paul Levesque era, 2 or 3.
yeah.
There's been like a little transition, but now we're really getting into the nitty gritty. Netflix is like the main sauce. Like you got the Big Mac, you got the lettuce, the tomatoes, that's been the past 4 years. The meat, the Big Mac meat is Raw on Netflix. That's the big starter.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna be a huge like transitional shift for the product. And just to let everybody know, we're mostly gonna be talking about WWE because that's what we're fans of. We grew up watching that. That's not to say we hate AEW or anything like that. If something significant happens in AEW, we'll talk about it. But for at least for the time being, our main focus is gonna be on WWE and their pay-per-views. I mean, it's a lot to keep up with just with WWE. I can't imagine doing AEW as well. And also like NXT, like that's even more. So um I couldn't even handle it myself. Like I remember I tried one time to watch like everything and I'm just like there's no way. It's a full-time job.
Yeah. I mean, listen, hey, if it just so happens that we're just up and coming on this podcast. So like, if anybody watching would, just support, maybe we could get to that stage.
I mean, we
Maybe
could.
we could get to that stage. We could cover AEW. We could cover WWE. We could cover TNA. Like, not okay. That sounded really bad on
Yeah, I
TNA,
was gonna say that's
but
a little bit too much. Let's
at,
let's hold our horses.
at least I want to talk about AEW and WWE. But right now, WWE
For now,
is
just
the
getting
main
started.
course.
Yeah, we'll see where everything lies ahead. But getting back into it, I do want to talk about the lead up to Raw on Netflix. Everything that's been happening the past few months has literally just all been like leading up to this moment. There's been storylines that are being built. The whole Bloodline storyline is finally coming to a head with Roman versus Solo, although I don't think this is gonna be the end.
Mm-mm.
The whole Punk and Seth Rollins stuff. Let's just go through it. So like let's start with the CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Like what are your whole what's your whole feeling towards this storyline and how it's been built? Because initially this was supposed to happen last year. Yeah, last year WrestleMania. It's already 2025. I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a WrestleMania match. WrestleMania main event match. And it's going to be on Raw. Not for the title, but still.
Unfortunately, but I do think that we could get a rematch for this.
Oh, you do?
But I don't know. It's like I wasn't expecting this to happen. Oh
What's
snap! What happened?
I don't know.
What
It's all
happened?
right. Good. Keep going.
I didn't expect for this to really happen, like on Netflix, because like this is like you said, this is a WrestleMania main event match.
Yeah.
So it's like I this match, it's like having Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes Raw on Netflix. Like that's a big match, and we're getting that on Raw, and it's like it makes me wonder what is actually going to happen between CM Punk and his own storyline and Seth Rollins and his own storyline. I don't know their matches at WrestleMania because of this match.
Yeah, that does put into question like what they have planned for WrestleMania because like they're gonna have a match. Like
Of course.
Punk missed his opportunity last year because of injury, so 100% he's wrestling at WrestleMania. I mean, if he doesn't get injured again, fingers crossed. But
Yeah, I will. In.
and then Seth Rollins also like he's been WWE's like MVP for God knows how long. He has to have a match as well. I mean, he would have had a match last year at WrestleMania, but who knows? Well, yeah. So it was supposed to be Punk and Rollins and stuff like that, but he still found his way to like the main event with the whole Cody and Roman and Rock stuff. So yeah, you definitely gotta like treat him with some respect and reverence. Um, yeah, no, I'm curious who's gonna win.
Mm,
Because on the
that's
one hand, like I just said, Seth Rollins, he's been the MVP for so long. He's been the guy, the go-to guy. Are you really gonna put CM Punk over that person? But on the other hand, it's CM Punk. Like, come on, he's been on a roll. He's been one of the highlights of Raw for months, for almost the entire 2024. Even despite him being injured, he was on Raw most nights, and when he was there, it got exciting because you didn't know what he was gonna say.
hmm I don't know because I feel like they're both going into this feud strong. Like Seth Rollins just came off winning against Bronson Reed, and Bronson Reed has been on a reign of terror before he got injured. But he's coming off a W off of Bronson Reed. CM Punk is also coming off a W off of Drew McIntyre in a
And
Hell in
War
a
Games.
Cell
And War Games.
and War Games, correct? So it's like I really don't know. Like, does CM Punk really need the win? Seth Rollins, does he really need the win? I don't know. Could this match end in DQ? I hope not. But
Yeah, no,
we can
that would
only.
be so stupid.
I personally think this match is going to be the main event. So I
Yeah,
really hope it doesn't end in a DQ.
yeah, I think this match has a very strong potential. I could have sworn, and maybe I'm misremembering it, that Michael Cole did say this was gonna be, or maybe was it Michael Cole or somebody on commentary said that this was gonna be the main event. I'm almost positive I heard him say that, or heard
I think it
somebody
was
say
Michael
that.
Cole.
But I mean, they haven't said it, but I mean, things could change. But I think this is definitely gonna be the the main event. It has to be. This is the biggest match. I mean, you could also say like Roman versus Solo is big, but I don't know. I feel like because of the Bloodline storyline going on so long, like it kind of fell off a little bit,
Yeah.
and I think it could pick back up. Um, we don't know if like The Rock is going to be involved, but we'll get to that later. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So this has to be the main event in my eyes. Um, now going forward. Do you think? Well, you said that you think this could be like a rematch. How soon though? Like you think this is like maybe Elimination Chamber or maybe Royal Rumble Saturday Night's main event? That's also coming up.
I don't know. Like, honestly, it could be a Saturday's main event match because they haven't. I feel like that's a whole nother story, but that's super close to Royal Rumble, and it's like in a
Like a week. You
weird.
think? Yeah, you think maybe they'll treat it kind of like a 2 night thing. Like part one is on Saturday Night's main event, and then part two is Royal Rumble.
They could they could do it how they hate each other so much that they cannot wait. So the next show that they're on needs to be a match. So like I could see it ending in a certain way and then them needing a rematch right away. I don't know how many weeks are in between Raw Netflix debut and Saturday Night's main event,
I think it's like
but
3.
3 Raws.
I think so. Let me see.
So if it is 3 Raws, I could definitely see the first Raw being the match, obviously, being like a certain finish where they need a rematch, and I could
All
see
right.
either one of them going over.
So it's 2 weeks because the third week would be the one after Saturday Night's main event. So it's technically 2 weeks.
Okay, you know what? Actually, I'm not even gonna lie. I think that
Just
this match
rematch.
could go either way, and partly, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna go Seth Rollins just because I think it's gonna come back around. And
Yeah.
I think Seth Rollins is going to win, which causes CM Punk to be like, yo, like, yeah, I think he just came off winning a feud. Seth Rollins didn't really win Bronson Reed's feud. It was about to start again, but, the injury happened. We didn't get to see it, but that could happen. And then I think the next Raw would be something between them two, probably setting up a match between them at Saturday Night's main event. And then possibly even a third match at Royal Rumble.
Okay. That you know what? When you put it like that, I think I'm gonna say Seth Rollins as well. I think it makes more sense for him to win, especially when remember, CM Punk has that favor with Paul Heyman, so that could also come into play. And where like even though he lost, he still has that favor, whatever it ends up being, to fall back on into like a new storyline. And maybe
Mm.
that, I mean, if because Paul Heyman's gonna be wherever Roman is. I don't know if Roman's moving to Raw. He's having a match on Raw because it's it's a big show, but I don't think he's moving to Raw. Um, so there's a possibility that Punk can move to SmackDown as well,
That
and that would
that's
open up a lot of
true.
new feuds.
Oh man, Punk versus Cody Rhodes. Literally, that could be easily a main event match. Like
Yeah.
that easily. Well, for CM Punk, I have a whole different thing of what I think he might do, but I don't know. I don't know what leads from him. I don't. I don't know. CM Punk is just like up in the air right now. Like right now, he's having the feud that we thought was gonna be his feud at WrestleMania. So it's like if he's getting it over with now, I don't think it's gonna carry on all the way to WrestleMania. So
Maybe.
I think he could take an L now just because he has future plans.
Yeah, there's more stuff you could do with Punk even if he loses, because he's
Yeah,
gonna be in the
exactly.
Royal Rumble. So like, there's a story you could build off there. That's literally how the whole Drew McIntyre story started at the Royal Rumble
Yeah.
because he got injured. Okay, so moving on, we have
Sure.
like we mentioned before, Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa in tribal combat for the Ula Fala. So what like we said, put the ones. Put the
Yeah, I gotta
ones.
put the ones up.
Acknowledge the tribal chief. We'll
Acknowledge.
find out whoever becomes tribal chief after this
We
match.
we have to follow who is the winner and acknowledge them as our tribal chief.
Yeah.
I gotta wait.
So like we said before, like this bloodline storyline has been going on for years at this
Oh
point.
man.
And it's crazy. This is the longest storyline that I can ever remember, like ever happening.
Yeah.
And it's been like back and forth, so many twists and turns, and some of them was great, and then some of them were just like, why you did that?
Yeah.
um,
Definitely a few of them.
yeah, but for the most part, it's been very entertaining. And even the whole stuff with Sami Zayn that came out of left field, and that ended up
Oh
being
man.
something special.
That's Sammy Uso to you.
Sammy Uso, the whole freaking Jey Uso
Oh
becoming
man.
a main event Jey Uso. Yeet.
Yeah.
Uh, he became that because of the bloodline storyline. So it's like this is basically like it's spreading throughout wrestling, or I do say wrestling because they reached out to like Jacob Fatu. He was on the indies and they brought him in. Tangaloa. They were in New Japan before they came. There's Zilla Fatu. There's the fourth Uso brother. I can't remember his name right now, who are working the indies right now. There's a lot. And
Yeah.
so it
There's
permeates.
Hikuleo.
Hikuleo they just signed and he's in NXT. I don't think he's debuted yet, but I mean, who knows? Maybe they might just shoot him up. We don't know. But it's just the fact that like this bloodline storyline has just reached across all of wrestling, and anybody who is even remotely related to Samoans can be involved. I wouldn't be surprised if, I mean, Samoa Joe, he's in AEW right now. Supposedly his contract is coming up this year. I would not be surprised if he ended up coming back to be part of the bloodline. So he's not related by blood, but neither is Tamatanga or Tangaloa. So
The GOAT Tagaloa.
the GOAT Tangaloa. He's resting right now. He's not injured. He's resting.
He needs to take his beauty sleep because he needs his rest. Like he needs to be prepared for WrestleMania.
Yeah, they got
you don't
big
want to
plans
put
for him.
you don't want to put the GOAT through too much pressure, because if you put him through too much pressure, he might just take every minute of television, and you don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
Just for other people's sake.
yeah.
So it's okay.
So, but yeah, I feel like this Bloodline storyline is just it's good when it's all said and done, which we don't even know. It could go on for even more, like 10 more years if they really wanted it to. But when it is all said and done, we'll look back on it as like probably one of the greatest storylines in wrestling history.
I honestly, I don't know. This might be a hot take, but I believe this is probably the greatest storyline.
Wow. Okay.
Because this storyline has taken so many turns and it's created so many, like, there was a point in time where people did not want to watch wrestling. Like 2020?
Oh, yeah.
Not even 2020. 2019 was like, oh my goodness. 2019 was like one of the worst years in wrestling.
It was rough.
And it's just crazy how something that just came out of 2019, like it can't. When did the Bloodline story start? Right in the end of 2019-ish, because Roman Reigns came back during COVID, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it started during COVID because he didn't want to wrestle at WrestleMania that year because of him being compromised or whatever, because of his
Correct
leukemia. And he came back at SummerSlam that year, and then that's when the Bloodline story started. It didn't start like right then and there, but that's when that you can trace it back to that moment.
Yeah, because that's when Roman Reigns turned heel. Like, finally.
Yeah.
And 2019 was such a bad year, so to come back from that in 2020, even though 2020 wasn't much of a viewership year, I mean, neither was a lot of like television that was like live. Like AEW was also in the same boat.
Yeah.
And a lot of like live shows, basketball, football, all of these sports programs were like,
everything that had a TV program was like, if it wasn't already like recorded, then if it was like, especially if it was live, it was tanking because nobody wanted to watch that shit.
Yeah, and it's so crazy how one of the worst eras produced something so special, and it's like these are family members. Like, all of these people are family.
Yeah,
most of these people are family. Sorry, forgot about the GOAT.
Most of them.
Yeah. So most of them are family, and like they've done so many different twists and turns. They brought people back to the product. They've used like such like modern day and like regular, like you have randoms coming to WWE now and being like, yo, you saw that? You saw the ones? You got to put the ones up. Acknowledge the tribal chief.
Yeah.
I have people like just talking about that around me. It's like, wow, I never would have thought. Like, who would have thought? Now everybody loves Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns had one of the biggest turnarounds too. Like, everybody hated Roman Reigns. Now everybody loves Roman Reigns. So it's like, I think that also plays into the fact of it being the greatest storyline in WWE history, or in history. Period.
Yeah, in history, wrestling history. So where do you see this going, or how do you see this going? Because it's all right. So it's Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa in tribal combat, which basically means there's no disqualifications. All the bloodline stuff they're gonna get involved. That's pretty much a given.
Yeah. So
do you think that plays a factor into whoever wins? Like, you think that's gonna?
I think that I have two predictions.
Okay.
One of them is I think Drew McIntyre might play a little factor in this match.
Oh.
It depends who wins. Who's gonna win? But if Solo is winning, Drew McIntyre will interfere and he will attack Roman Reigns. I personally think he's going to attack both of them, but I think he's going to attack Roman Reigns first and really he's going to cause it to be like Roman Reigns loses.
Yeah.
And that's really going to set up the storyline for Drew and Roman. And that might be a Royal Rumble match. That might be a WrestleMania match. Who knows? But I think that's the plan for Drew McIntyre right now because I think just this past SmackDown, he like hugged Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, which was
And
weird.
yeah, it was super weird. And then he kind of like signaled Kevin Owens to come out saying, watch your back. And then Kevin Owens attacked him. So I
Yeah,
think right now he's definitely anti-bloodline.
yeah.
He's helping anybody that loves that hates the bloodline, and he's always attacking everybody. So to see that he hates Roman Reigns' bloodline so much, I think he's gonna help Solo in like a slight bit and attack Roman Reigns, and that's gonna be his next target because he already got Jimmy, he already got Jay, he already got Sammy. He said there was 5. I
Those
think Roman
five.
Reigns is one of those 5,
Okay.
but
You know
the
what?
last one might be The Rock.
So I was actually gonna ask that. How do you think Rock, if at all, plays into this?
My second prediction involves The Rock. So if Solo's winning, Drew McIntyre will interfere. If Roman is winning, then The Rock will interfere. And I feel like the plan would be The Rock versus Roman Reigns.
Yeah. See, that's the interesting part because so we've heard for months that The Rock is gonna maybe do something at WrestleMania. Whether it's gonna be with Roman, whether it's gonna be with Cody, we don't know. And the problem is that The Rock's schedule doesn't like it's not set in stone. Like it's always changing. He's always doing stuff. It really he has to clear up time, and who knows when that is.
Yeah.
So who knows if he's even gonna be there if they already started making plans without him. But
For sure.
we saw last year that don't matter. If The Rock is coming back, he's gonna come back and he's gonna blow up the car to do whatever he
Yep.
wants and cause so much chaos.
Oh man.
He could do that again. Essentially, I hope not. I hope he learned his lesson not to do that.
I hope he heard the Cody crybabies last year.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and not make any more crybabies.
I hope not.
But yeah, so yeah, everything's been kind of like contingent on whether or not The Rock is going to be available for WrestleMania. Now, if he is, and you think so, if he is going to be involved, do you think he's going to help Roman?
I don't know. Like, I feel like it's too early because like The Rock is such an unpredictable thing right now. Like, I didn't even know he was gonna show up at Bad Blood.
Yeah, that was
And
weird. I still don't know what that was all about.
he showed up and left. Like, nobody even mentioned it. It's like he was a ghost. Like nobody
Yeah.
saw it except for Cody and Roman. Like
Yeah.
nobody else saw it.
He's like, and
He's
then
John
like,
Cena.
after like it all happened, people were just questioning like, and like, did that actually happen? Like, did he actually come back? Like,
Yeah, he did. He did. It wasn't a figment of imagination. No, he was there. He just decided like, oh yeah, I just want to. I was in the area, I just
Yeah.
wanted to stop by, watch the match, but he came late. That's what happened, and then he went back
Rock
home.
is always late.
Yeah, of course, fashionably late.
Fashionably late. Just waited the
So-
whole pay-per-view,
Yeah, he traffic.
Yeah.
everybody trying to get somewhere. I don't know where, but I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. The Rock is
I feel like
he's very unpredictable.
it's tough because on the one hand, you would think this is a big show. Like it's huge, monumental moment for WWE. The Rock has to be there, right?
Yeah, I would. He was advertised. Well, he was on the commercials. He was on the commercials.
He was on the commercials, like in the like the first commercials. So you feel like he would have to show up.
Yeah.
In addition to like, all the other legends like Stone Cold, The Undertaker, maybe Hulk Hogan, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough because I could also see what you said about Drew. I could see Drew basically costing Roman the match. They do that whole program, and then that could potentially lead into him basically working for The Rock.
Mm.
So it will be Drew basically doing, because Solo can't do it, so he had to go elsewhere to get the job done. Essentially, that could be the storyline behind that. Although
That would be.
it would be weird for Drew of all people to want to do something for The Rock, but he did mention in his promo a couple weeks ago that there was only one person who checked on him when he was out with his injury, or I don't know if he was injured, but when he was out, he didn't say who. It could have been The Rock.
He definitely didn't say who. And I'm that thing is gonna come up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
And who knows? It might have been Cody. Maybe that's why he hugged them for real. Who knows?
maybe. Who knows? It could have been Kevin Owens.
Could have been Kevin Owens too.
Yeah, so I think they slid that in there to like have it in their back pocket to do what you said, just to bring it out randomly.
Yeah. Who knows? He might be trolling us. It might be like Xavier Woods. Like, who knows? Like, he could just be
mad random.
Yeah,
just comes in a New Day segment and be like, you know what? I just want to thank you. You called me. You were the one. And then they have a tag match later on.
Yeah, a tag match on main event of Raw. You know, something crazy against the Viking Raiders and Damian Priest.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know. The Rock.
So all right, so man. So who do you have winning? What's the most likely outcome?
I think that Solo will win somehow.
Yeah,
I think it's not gonna be a clean finish. Definitely not.
Oh hell no.
Definitely not. I don't know if Tangaloa is gonna come out and beat up Roman Reigns, or if he's gonna. I don't know. It's not gonna be a clean finish. People's gonna get involved. I don't think it's gonna be the main event, which is why I don't know if The Rock is gonna show up, because I feel like he would be if it would be in the main event if he was gonna show up, just like when they did for when he returned that Bad Blood.
Yeah, I remember that was literally why they made that the main event on that night.
Yeah, it's like, but I honestly don't know. Maybe they could be like receptive to that. Like, okay, let's not put him in the main event if he's just gonna show up for like a second. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I do think Solo's gonna win though. What about you?
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. I feel like Roman is on a level where he can lose like freaking 10,000 times and he'll still be like on top.
Oh yeah,
because he was literally like undefeated for so long, up until I think it was that tag team match with the Usos versus Roman and Solo, and Jay pinned Roman. But that was like the only time in the past, like outside of Cody, obviously, where so he's only lost like 2 times in the past like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
it's been a long time, so I don't think Roman is hurt by taking a loss to Solo. If anything, Solo needs it more because he's been finding his groove as like that character. It's taken a long time, but he's settling into it now, and to the point where like I'm actually like entertained by him now. Like,
yeah,
he's actually kind of funny. So I think Solo deserves the win more than Roman, and like I said, they can go plenty of different ways, similar to Punk, where they can go different ways despite him losing, and obviously like they have plans for him at WrestleMania. So yeah, I think Solo is probably gonna win.
Yeah, can you imagine if Solo, like you said, he's grown so much, you know, he's actually starting to catch on, you know what I mean? So imagine him now losing to Roman Reigns. Like, it would completely just like, all right, you know what? Whatever. This guy, I don't care about Solo. You know?
Yeah.
Who cares if he loses? Now he lost. You know what I mean? So now he doesn't have the Ulafada. Like, who cares about Solo at that point?
Yeah.
Now Roman Reigns is the tribal chief. Do it all over again. I feel like there's no point.
Yeah, I feel like it's already been there, done that, and if you really want to progress things, then you kind of have to go with Solo.
Yeah, or who knows? Maybe Solo loses. He's about to present Roman with the rule of follow, and then he actually comes into play with The Rock, and he says, "Yo, this was actually an order from the High Chief, The Rock. He is now my tribal chief," and The Rock becomes a tribal chief. Who knows? I don't know. That's just random shenanigans.
Yeah,
but
we could definitely see that happening, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. All right.
yeah, my boy Solo got it though.
Moving on, our next match is Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley in a last women's standing match for the world women's.
It's not Women's World Championship.
Women's World. Okay, I was gonna say heavyweight, but they're not heavyweights.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
Matt Jackson.
Women's World. Yeah. Hey, listen.
My bad.
But yeah, so this whole storyline with Liv and Rhea has been going on for far too long. It feels like it's been going on as long as the Bloodline storyline.
Yo, honestly, yes.
And like, I get it because Rhea was hurt and then Liv was hurt. So, well, first Liv was hurt, then she came back, and then Rhea got hurt. So, like, that kind of prolonged things. But then, ever since Rhea came back, which she did get hurt again, but not as long. It's just like it feels like they've been stalling for some reason. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I think it's because they don't want Rhea to just be back, or they didn't want Rhea to be back in the title pick or to be the title holder because there's more money in Chase, and Rhea Ripley is such a big star that they probably want her like wanting to gun for the title because that's where she's most popular. So, but of all people to do it for, Liv Morgan, not that I have anything against her. Like, she's a great wrestler. She's entertaining. I don't know if it's like part of her character. She's very annoying. Which I guess that's what she's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
So it felt weird that Rhea kept getting like one-upped by Liv of all people. Like it didn't sit right with me. And they kept doing it over and over and over again, and it was the whole Judgment Day stuff that kept like coming into play, and now they're like broken up, and it felt like it was going nowhere for a long time, and now it feels like they're trying to like move on.
Yep.
And I think this is obviously like the time to do it. Like, you gotta put the title back on Rhea, like do different things. And I think, I don't know what it means for Liv going forward, but you gotta stop this. You can't have Liv versus Rhea at Royal Rumble again, or at Elimination Chamber, or at WrestleMania. I mean, I heard people say that they wanted to. Oh, they could hold this off until WrestleMania. It's like, no,
please,
no,
please. Retire the championship after that.
Like, yeah, it's like I know Liv has her fans, but come on, like we got to move on.
It's getting like John Cena, type of heat in like 2010.
Yeah,
like,
2010 John Cena. Oh man,
like I do not want to see that anymore. Like that's the type of energy that I'm getting from that feud.
Yeah,
and I think, thank God, I think they're finally ending it for real because they're Falls Count Anywhere for the championship, Raw Netflix, and they both finally said, okay, this is it. Like they literally said to themselves, this is it. This is where it ends.
Yeah.
I hope that it actually ends.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it's no disqualification, the Judgment Day is going to get involved. Damian Priest is probably going to get involved. I think it's probably going to end up like it. The problem with this is that it's almost too predictable. Like because they've done it so many times, there's only one way to do it now. Is that Judgment Day is going to interfere, and they're going to unintentionally Liv the title. Another factor that could play into it is the fact that Becky Lynch is supposed to be coming back.
For sure.
They haven't announced her, but she was in the promo for Netflix, like when they did the whole commercial for it. She was in there.
Oh.
So it's pretty much a given that she's going to be there. on Raw. Now, she was kind of involved in the whole thing with Rhea and Liv unintentionally because when it was Rhea versus Becky last year at WrestleMania
Yeah.
and Rhea beat her. But then literally like right after she got hurt and then they held the title it was they put it I think they put it on Becky, right? She won a battle royal or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
She won a steel cage match, I think, against Liv.
Wait. Was it that? No, I could have sworn she won in like a battle royal.
I have to go. I don't know. You might have to
Anyway,
go back in the thing for that, but she
I
won.
know she won. She was champion for a little bit and she was supposed to be on like a break, like a little vacation. Then she came back like early because they needed her because Rhea got hurt. Then Liv beat Becky, and that's when Becky quote unquote retired. She let her contract end, and you know, a lot of speculation that she was gonna go somewhere else, and she didn't. She was just taking a break. But yeah, so now she's coming back, and I think she might play a factor in this as well, and she might cost Liv the championship as well.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, definitely all the other stuff that you also said, like with the Judgment Day and the Damian Priest, you know, I feel like all of that stuff is definitely like it's like the Tribal Chief match. It's the Tribal Combat.
Tribal Combat, yeah.
It's gonna be a whole bunch of stuff that's happening in the match. Honestly, I think that they can have a bunch of different ways that they go about it, but I do think Becky Lynch is gonna get involved somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe even after the match. I personally think she might go after the match just because I feel like she's gonna come back as a face.
True. Yeah. She has to.
So.
Like after usually whenever somebody returns, it's always as a face.
True.
So
that's true. So I do think that well, who's your prediction for the match?
Oh, so we kind of said it. Like I think Rhea Ripley's winning it. Like she has to. And you know what? It actually it wouldn't be too unfair because it's a last woman standing. I think that's what they said, right? Last woman standing.
Yeah, last woman standing. Yep.
So
it's false count anywhere. No.
Hold on, let me look.
Yeah, double check because I believe
it doesn't say what the stipulation is. I think it was like they just announced it on maybe
on Instagram or something.
Yeah, it was on social media, but I'm pretty sure it's false count anyway. It's somewhere where they can kind of protect Liv a little bit. So even if she loses, it's just like, oh, she didn't get pinned or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, but either way, I think Rhea Ripley's she's gonna take it.
Yeah, I agree because honestly, I feel like this whole thing was dragged out, like you said, just so Rhea can regain the championship. And oh my gosh, it's been too long. They could have had. They could have had Rhea do something else. In the meantime, had Liv do something else, and then lead back to like a tournament. Oh my gosh, it's been too much.
Yeah, they could have done so much, and just the fact that they kept going back to this, it was just like I know they're trying to like do longer storylines and stuff like that, but sometimes not every storyline needs to be like a year long. You can do it like in a few months. It's okay.
Yeah, like oh my goodness, like and Rhea kept on getting hurt too, so it's like she came back to say, "Liv, I'm gonna beat you," and then she got injured. She had to take off, and then she comes back, return, and then same thing, repeat.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like I really hope this end.
Yeah, enough is enough.
Yes, I think that's exactly what they said. Enough is enough.
Yeah,
that's literally what they said. So,
all right. So moving on. So I'm looking at like the run sheet and stuff like that. So this is not technically on the run sheet, but we have been seeing teasers for a certain somebody that might be making their debut. Now they technically didn't say that they would be debuting on this show, But what other show would you want to debut on if not this one? Which is, I mean, we don't know, but it's almost obvious that it's Pentagon Jr. that
Oh yeah.
he's gonna be debuting on Raw on Netflix. I think last week they had a segment backstage with Rey Mysterio and the New Day, and that Rey Mysterio is gonna have a partner, and he didn't say who. He was with the LWO, so if it was one of them, he would have said, which is kind of low key, like, damn, like you got partners right there.
Yeah.
Why you don't pick them?
They always do that though. Didn't he pick Dragon Lee when he first
Yeah,
came and he had the whole team there? Like,
yeah.
I don't know what's up with
He
Rey Mysterio.
he low key was just like, y'all trash, like y'all don't win the
I
matches.
think that's what it is.
Yo,
He just doesn't like his team.
Dominic is right. Rey Mysterio is a douchebag. Like,
Yo, for real, bro. He's a whole team, and he goes to recruit a whole other person. Just, I
so
don't know.
all right, I will say, even if it is like that's who the partner is, whatever. I hope to God he is not part of the LWO. He can be an
Oh man.
ally. He can be like, oh, we're cool. But Pentagon needs to be his own thing. Like, let him be Pentagon. Don't let him be another member of the LWO.
Well, I actually have a prediction because I agree with what you're saying. I think he is the mystery partner for Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
I have a prediction for that match.
Okay.
And I've been seeing it around as well. I know that Pentagon is very he's a good heel.
He has played a heel before.
He's a good heel. And he looks the part for sure. So I think that he does the match with Ray and they win or they lose. I think they win though. And Pentagon turns on Ray and destroys him.
Ew.
I think he can either like pile drive him or he can he's gonna do some crazy stuff to Rey Mysterio. And he's gonna just completely destroy him, and that's gonna set up their Rey Mysterio versus Pentagon.
That would be a huge match for WrestleMania. Like if they can hold off for that long, maybe have him take him out, like have Rey Mysterio be out, and then he goes through the LWO.
Yep, he could definitely do that. And I think Dragon Lee versus Penta will be crazy.
That would be crazy.
You could definitely have that be like the first feud. Like, yo, you took out Rey Mysterio, you need to go through me. And that's going to be like the first like feud. And then, like you said, Rey comes back and then that's a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, that's actually really good. I hope that's what happens. I mean, like I said, Pentagon needs to be as far away as possible from the LWO. And how farther can you be than against them?
Yeah, pretty much. Unless they just finish the feud and
he's
then
not joining Santos.
No. Oh, that is even worse. That's even worse. I'm not even gonna lie.
They could do a whole thing like maybe like he runs into them or something like that, and then they try to offer him. You say, "Oh, we saw you against the LWO, you know." Like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and he freaking just slaps him.
That would bury them so much. Like they would be like underneath, like 18 feet under. Like it would be so bad. But I think this is the problem with like wrestling, and it's like things like this. Like, oh man, Pentagon could join the match and then turn heel, and then it's WrestleMania. It's like.
It's probably not gonna happen.
He's probably gonna join the LWO, and we're all gonna be mad. That's it.
All right. So what if he does join the LWO for now, and then like later on turns heel?
He could,
because I don't think there's ever been a debut. A heel turn is what, like, I know it's different because Penta has been like. He's been wrestling for so long already, and he's like well known even like within the industry. And I'll even I mean, I don't know, like casual fans know him, but like he was in AEW, so some will know him. But I don't think there's ever been a debut and a heel turn at the same time. Which honestly,
I
now that I'm saying it, like if you wanted to like make history, like there you
we're
go.
on
Like that's
Netflix.
first time like something like that has ever happened. A debut,
Yeah,
not just a debut of a heel, but a debut of a face, and then he turns heel.
yeah.
That would get people
That's
talking.
that's really nice. Honestly, I would love to see that. Especially Pentagon. He's so decorated in the industry. Like he's so like everybody knows that he's really good. Like it's not no name coming to like some people know who that is from like AEW like or some Ring of Honor. He he's well known.
Yeah.
Definitely well known and I think he'll be a perfect match for the match that he probably will join on Raw Netflix. That would be like a perfect setting for him cuz you don't want to just have him show up to be in a squash match and then he does that for the next 6 weeks and then it's just it's not like might as well not even show him on TV at that point. Just
Yeah.
wait for the perfect moment, and I think this is the perfect moment. So
Yeah. So it is the only bad thing about it is that the whole thing with his brother Ray Phoenix, who's in
oh
AEW
yeah
still, that is very shitty. And it's like they should have been debuting together because they were tag team as the Lucha Bros. Um, but the benefit is that Penta will have time to like get started, and then later on, Phoenix can come, and then they can join together or they can feud together. They feuded before, so there's a lot more opportunity for like storylines this way, so that way you're not just burning through them quickly.
yeah
Because that was one thing too. Like if like we look at the on SmackDown, the Motor City Machine Guns, like they pushed through them like quick. They gave them the title like right away.
oh yeah
And I know it's mostly because of their age, because I think they're in like their 40s. So they don't got that much time left wrestling. So
yeah
I guess
sure
they kind of want to like speed things along a little bit, get them like acclimated into storylines and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, I think it could have been the same thing for the Lucha Bros, but now it's just Penta, so they can focus on him and build him up, and that way when Ray inevitably comes, they can do something with him as well.
hmm I agree. I hope so because that situation is unfortunate, man. And I swear, once he's out of there, there's gonna be a whole lot of
Yeah,
stuff coming out.
he's gonna tell everything that happened.
He's gonna drop the complete everything.
Drop the or spill the tea is what they say.
Exactly. He's gonna definitely do that. So it's gonna be an explosion for that, but he's definitely coming to WWE like
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
100%.
it's inevitable.
So, yeah. I do think that Ray Phoenix does join the match. The thing with the LWO, him joining and then later on turning heel, I think that's good as well. But I do hope they debut him to turn heel. I feel like that would be record breaking. Unless they don't wait too long and they just have him turn heel on the next Raw. But I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe we'll see what they do, but I definitely think he is making his debut on the Raw on Netflix. All right,
Yes.
so our final topic is an very monumental one in that John Cena is starting his farewell tour. So this is it's bittersweet because on the one hand, this is going to be the first time in I want to say since like 2016 maybe or 2015 that John Cena is going to be on a full-time schedule.
For sure.
So that has me
2015.
I think it was 2015. So that has me very excited because John has always been like, I mean, for the past 10 years, he's been, doing movies and, working on shows. And he kind of like, I don't want to say he's like put wrestling on the back burner, but he hasn't been as involved. Like there was one year where, I think it was 2023 where that was the first year he was going to go without wrestling at all. And I think like on the last show of the year, he ended up having like a quick match or whatever, just because he didn't want to go through the whole year without having a match. Um,
Wow.
yeah. So, So
Even
this is
2024.
yeah. He didn't have a match, but he wrestled. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wrestled at WrestleMania. He had
No, he had that one match with the tag team match with Awesome Truth.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did have that
Yeah.
match.
I don't know why I remember that.
Yeah,
But...
that was the next night.
Oh, yeah, that's why. But
That
yeah,
was
that was
weird.
the only
I
match.
completely forgot about that too.
Yeah. That was literally the only match. And I think other than that, that was the only match 2024.
Oh no, I'm lying. It was 2022, I think, because in 2023 he wrestled Solo Sikoa.
Oh, yeah, he had his losing streak.
Yeah,
John Cena had his losing streak. Oh, man.
I remember that. Okay, so yeah, it was 2022 that he almost missed the year for wrestling, but yeah, so this is gonna be his first year that he's gonna be full time. It's gonna be like 30 to 40 dates or something like that, possibly even more depending on if he has time. And so he's literally cleared his schedule to be full time this year. But on the bitter side is this is his last year of wrestling, and it's gonna be tough because I mean we grew up watching John Cena and we knew he's had his ups and downs, but I think it's one of those things where it's like you don't know what you have until it's gone.
Yeah.
And once John Cena was gone, we were just like, damn, like he's actually pretty good. Like we gave him shit because he was always on top. And it was never that his matches weren't entertaining or that I wouldn't say he's a bad wrestler. He's pretty good at wrestling. It was just he was always on top. It's just like we wanted somebody else for so long and Vince never gave it to us. So we kind of took it out on John instead of Vince, which we should have. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so the problem is that with Cena this being his last year, like what do you do with him? What can you do with Cena that would be worth doing in his final run?
Man.
Because you can't.
I already
A
know.
lot of people are saying, "Oh, just do the hits. Like have him have like a greatest hits matches. Like just do it with Randy, do it with Punk, do it like AJ. Like no, I don't want that. I want something new. I want more like fresh stuff for Cena.
Yeah. I mean, I personally would like both. Like I wouldn't want too many old school hits. Like I don't like I do want to see Cena versus Orton one more time. That I definitely want to see. And I also definitely want to see CM Punk versus John Cena. But I also really want to see, like, there's only a select few matches that I want to see him wrestle again. But I also want to see him go up against Cody Rhodes. Go up against people like Gunther, Damian Priest. You know, there's a bunch of people he could go up against. Kevin Owens. He could go. I mean, I know he faced him before. That was early Kevin Owens.
Yeah, there's different Kevin Owens now.
Yeah, this is like veteran Kevin Owens, basically. Yeah. So I think that he definitely could wrestle a whole bunch of new people. And I really hope he does because he could get into some nice storylines. He has a whole year. So you could do whatever with John Cena in a whole year full time. That John Cena has won multiple championships in a full year before. He can win a championship this year, which I personally think he will win a world title.
I was gonna say, do you think he wins number 17?
I hope he does. Honestly,
I think you know what, if you're ever gonna do it, this is literally the only chance you have.
Yep.
So you got to do it.
Yep.
If they freaking ended the Undertaker's winning streak, WrestleMania winning streak, they can freaking give John Cena a 17th world title.
Like, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Ric Flair, not for nothing. Ric Flair has wrestled in multiple rival companies. John Cena has been a strictly WWE guy.
Yeah.
For like decades. He's been multiple time world champion. He's always wrestled. He's had years where he's been on every single show.
Yeah.
So it's like, why wouldn't you want to give him that record at least
Yeah,
to
as kind of
repay
like
him?
a gift to be like,
Yeah.
you are the greatest,
Mm-hmm. And he is, to be honest, to a certain extent, he is a lot of people's number ones.
Yeah.
So I think he deserves that number 15 or 17. Sorry. Um, who will it would be against? That's the good question.
Yeah. And I don't even know when they would do it. I think a lot of people would think, oh, you do it at WrestleMania because it's a big moment. Like, this entire year is going to be a big moment for John Cena. So you could do it at any point and it would still be a big moment. Like, whenever it happens is going to be the big moment.
Yeah.
So you don't have to say, oh, it has to be at WrestleMania. Like, WrestleMania can be its own thing for him. Because that's going to be his last WrestleMania. So that in itself is special. Yeah, so I think you could probably hold off to like maybe later on in the year, have it be like towards the end, so like get people like, is it gonna happen? Like, are they gonna do
Yeah.
it? And get people like anticipating, so that when it happens, it's like they freaking did it. Like, now we've talked about this before, and I floated this by you. If you're gonna have John Cena for one more year. And I told you, I want to see something fresh. I want to see something different. I want to see something that John Cena has never done before. He needs to turn heel. He needs to turn
Oh
heel.
man,
Like, that's
did say this.
one thing that I want to happen in this run, because for so long people have been wanting him to turn heel, and they just never did it. He was one of the one guy. The only other person I can think of is like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who has gone their entire career without turning heel. Although he even actually is better because Cena was heel when he started. So, but the second half of it, I don't want to say second half, like it was really just the majority of it. Once he turned face, he never went back.
Yeah.
So I think maybe a storyline can be that he becomes obsessed with winning number 17, and
Mm.
he starts being drastic and starts cheating and starts taking shortcuts because he's desperate. He wants that 17 championship. So, and then people could come to him, and so right now it's nothing set in stone, but the rumor is that the match for WrestleMania, John Cena's match, is going to be with Cody Rhodes.
Oh.
I mean, obviously things could change, but right now, as of today, the 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 match on paper is with John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Now, we don't know if Cody's going to be champion by then, because
Man.
anything can happen. But if he is, I think John Cena should be the heel in that match.
Damn. That's a lot of info to handle.
Yeah, because
Cause
you can have him be in the Royal Rumble and lose that. Have him be in the Elimination Chamber and lose that. And then have him just go crazy. Like, why? Like, this is my last year. I need to do this. Like, I have no more time.
yeah.
And then
Do you think that he wins the championship at WrestleMania though?
no. He's gonna lose. That, like I said, wait for that championship for like later on, and you can do it then. But at WrestleMania, if he's fighting for the championship, he needs to be the heel and he needs to lose. So that way, coming out of it, he can be like, you know what? I lost my way and it's time to get refocused. And then you go on whatever storyline they're going to do.
Damn, that's tough. Oh man, because basically like current John Cena versus old John Cena. Like, Cody Rhodes is
essentially.
basically the John Cena.
He basically is, yeah, and
And
a lot of people where they're saying like, oh, because it would be kind of like a passing of the torch moment, but and then they're saying, oh, but Cody Rhodes is 39. It's like, Cody Rhodes he plans to wrestle at least another like 6 years. He said he wants to retire by 45, which is that's decent, and
yeah,
but that's 6 years away. He's 39 right now, so it's like there's time. Like, I don't think people realize that in the time that Stone Cold and The Rock and The Undertaker like came great and led a whole attitude era, that was only like 3 or 4 years.
yeah,
People don't realize how short of a time that was for them to be like at their peak, and then
yeah.
they left. Well,
Yep.
Undertaker didn't leave, but Rock and Stone Cold left for different reasons, but they left. Same thing with like Brock Lesnar. He did it in like 1 year, 2 years.
Oh
And
man,
he
Brock
was at the
Lesnar,
top.
yeah,
And then he came back later, but still. So it doesn't take that long to be like the future or the present, you know? So you can pass the
yeah.
torch to Cody and he can hold that torch for 6 more years and then he can pass it to somebody else. Like that's fine. But yeah, so I think on Raw on Raw on Netflix, going back to the show, because we're talking about John Cena and the whole year, but on this
Yeah.
show, he's gonna announce first. I think he's gonna announce that he's gonna be in the Royal Rumble, and
Yeah.
like it's basically he's gonna declare that he's gonna be. That's his goal for the year. He's gonna be number 17. Like he's gonna get it,
Yeah.
and I think that's what he's gonna declare. I don't know if he'll start a storyline going into the Royal Rumble. Maybe even for Saturday night's main event, that would actually be a pretty cool match to have. Like no, he's been in the Saturday night's main event when they brought it back in like 2006, I think it was. I don't know, but
Was it
he's been in it. But
2006?
it would be interesting to have him have a match on there too. But yeah, so I think that's what he's gonna do on this show, and I think it's gonna be the start of a slow heel turn, but it's gonna happen.
I could see it. That's the thing. Like I could definitely see it against Cody Rhodes, though. I don't know. See, when Ric Flair was retiring, they kind of gave him the farewell tour. So every match leading up to that last match at WrestleMania was like the golden. He would say goodbye. He would give kisses
Yeah,
to the crowd. Everybody. He was basically the biggest face ever.
yeah. Which is
I
weird
feel like,
because Ric Flair's like the biggest heel in wrestling
oh
history.
yeah, yeah. That's you know what that's true. But I think that John Cena is just gonna be so loved because it's his last year that it'll be impossible for him to turn heel unless they do it like you said a little after he returns.
Yeah. At first I thought do it on the show, but I think that'll be too soon.
Nah, yeah, that would be too. Like Pentagon, he could come in and like wreck house, but John Cena, literally everybody's gonna want to hear what he's saying. They're gonna be behind him. He has a whole fan base because that's his last year. So everybody's gonna be like, "Yo, I'm following John Cena everywhere he goes this year." But I don't know. It's gonna be hard to turn him heel. I know he'll probably have a plan for it.
I don't think it's gonna be hard. What I'm interested if they do it is he said before in interviews that he has like theme music that he had made, new outfit and a new like just new everything, and like but he was gonna go like full force with it. Like he's gonna stop selling merch, like because they were gonna turn him heel against The Rock, and they got cold feet because he said he was gonna like stop selling merch, he was gonna stop making appearances, he was gonna stop doing everything, and WWE was just like, nah, we need that money. So they were just like, no, let's not do this. But now, since he's not really around and his merch is not, I mean, I'm sure it's still selling, but not as much as like a Cody Rhodes or Jey Uso or whoever else, Roman Reigns, like the Bloodline stuff, like those are the top sellers now. So you don't really need Cena to sell merch anymore. he can still sell. I'm sure people will buy it, or if anything, they'll probably make new merch. And I don't know if they'll still do that, but yeah, there's nothing stopping them from turning him heel. Like there's nothing holding them back. So I'm saying
I
like,
guess
why
that's
not?
true. I guess that's true. That's true. I can't even say anything but that's true because I never thought The Rock would turn heel again.
Exactly. That was my
So
reasoning.
I think anything could happen. To be honest, we might even see John Cena heel versus Randy Orton face.
That would be crazy.
That would be the craziest match of 2025.
That would
Honestly,
be
ever.
crazy. Just the inverse.
The flip on their last feud, like, oh man, that would be so crazy. Like, but the thing against Cody Rhodes is weird because I actually seen Cody Rhodes turning heel.
You can on Cena?
No, not even, but this year.
Oh, you can
Because
see him turning heel?
yeah, I could see him being a heel soon, actually, because I don't know what his plans are for WrestleMania. But I mean, if you're saying it's John Cena, then I don't know. But I think that he could turn heel because he's been dropping really subtle hints in his promos. Like, I know Kevin Owens is aggravating him really bad,
Yeah.
but Cody Rhodes is dropping subtle hints like, yo, Carmelo Hayes, you suck. I'm gonna beat you up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah.
he's been acting a little, on edge. And
Yeah.
he's been different. I don't know. So I feel like he might be a little heel, like a Homelander Cody. Like actually,
Homelander Cody.
he might actually
The
be
only
in real life. I'm not
the,
sure.
the only issue with that though is that who would be there to be the top face?
That's true. Roman
'Cause right
Reigns is kind
he's
of.
like a tweener. Like he's a face, quote unquote, but he still does the same shit that he did before.
That's true. That's true. You know what? You're right. I just feel like they're gonna boo Cody Rhodes if he's going against John Cena this year.
Unless Cena's a heel and then people they have an excuse to boo John Cena.
The thing is with John Cena, he has to kill the heel role, or else they're not gonna put him against Cody Rhodes.
I think he would. I mean, he's had enough time to practice in his acting. He's
I
played a
guess.
heel in movies. He's played freaking Peacemaker. He's been in the bad guy in Fast and Furious. What was it, 9? Whatever the last one was. So he can play a bad guy. He's done it before.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll just have to wait and see because that's interesting. I would like to see John Cena be a heel, but I think he does declare for the Royal Rumble. I also think he probably gets interrupted by somebody, maybe by Cody, maybe by Gunther. Who knows?
Yeah.
He might get interrupted by somebody, one of the world champions, I believe. That's my prediction for this coming Raw. He will get interrupted by a world champion. Okay, so I don't know which one, but one of them for sure.
Yeah. So, all right. So we went through the whole card, and it's gonna be a big show. Honestly, I know they haven't really said how long the show is gonna be. We assume it's gonna be back to 3 hours, but honestly, it could probably. There's no limit. It's on Netflix. There's no cutoff. They don't have to worry about ending it at a certain time. So it could honestly go even longer than 3 hours if they have enough stuff to do. Which that's going to be very interesting if they do that.
Yep.
And either way, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. So this is the Go Home Bros podcast. So what we're going to be doing is, so we just did the first part. So before a pay-per-view, obviously this is not a pay-per-view, but before a big show that we're going to do, we'll do a podcast, and then afterwards we'll do our reaction to it. So it's gonna be like a bi-monthly thing, but it's gonna be like back to back, like a 2-punch, bam bam. And that's how we're gonna do it. That's gonna be the format, and we might change it up. We might do something different, and this is a work in progress. This is episode number 1, so we got plenty more episodes to figure things out. And we hope you guys, if you're listening to us, join us for that journey that we're about to take. And with that, let's put up our ones.
Put them our ones, man.
Want to
We have
thank you
to.
for listening, and we'll see you after the Raw on Netflix debut.
Yeah, we're happily watching it. I can't wait.
Can't wait.
We gotta go home.
We gotta go home.
We gotta go home, man.
All right. Peace.
Peace out, y'all.